yourself for invasion. This is Indie Invasion.
What's up, Mac?
What's happening, buddy? What's going on? So, okay, before we even get started, I gotta tell you, I just had the funniest experience just as we were about to start. So, as a lot of people know, my son Fernando hates to be on camera.
Yeah, I don't see him anywhere.
I started to go live, and he wanted to get a soda. Well, he's over here, and the fridge is over here.
He crawl on the floor.
You never seen him move so fast. So I had to egg him on. I was going, "You better hurry up! It's almost over. It's almost over." It wasn't really, but it was fun anyway. So, good morning, Alder.
Nando.
And Todd. Hello, gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Drinking our coffee. Got my spaceman spiff.
I gotta get a new cup. I gotta get another cup.
I had one. 3, but see, I was smart. I took my third one over to my mom's house so that when I have coffee with my mom,
you have an Indian
drinking out of an Indian invasion cup
around town.
That's right.
So since Clem's here, it made me think of this. I got another box too. This one only took me like 4 days to open, Mac. But
I don't know how you do that. You are an oak, bro.
Yeah, I know. That's what
I'm lucky. I'm lucky if 4 seconds pass.
I got my little AADA shot glass from Steve Jackson Games for Car Wars.
Oh, okay.
And I got the little collectible.
What's happening, Tim?
Collectible pin that they had come out at Gen Con. There it goes.
Nice.
Had to get some bling. And then they threw a bunch of stuff in there that like promo stuff that for like they have the Munchkin game.
Oh yeah.
So they gave me a bunch of promo cards. This one's kind of neat though. It's a little Space Marine.
Oh, nice. Nice. Yes, we have Munchkin. I've played it a couple times. I actually like it. It's kind of a cool little
I laughed when I saw that.
Do nothing game.
Cash cow.
That's so good for that game. Yeah, I've played it a couple times and it's pretty good. I enjoy it a fair bit. Todd says it's sunny in Texas where it's warm, not to mention the climate.
He was giving me a hard time earlier this week on the Facebooks. Because I think it was he posted a picture of a Jeep in the snow and it looked like the Jeep was mad. You know, I'm sure you've seen that one floating around the internet because of the way the snow melted on its headlights and stuff.
Right.
And I said, "Yep, that's my Jeep in January." And yeah, of course he's throwing out, "It's warm here."
Not my Jeep. Like I said, the only reason my doors are on my Jeep right now is because I got kids that when the doors are off, it's cold. No, I don't lose them. Are you kidding me? In the summertime, they are all about doors off. All about it. Their friends get in the car and they're scared because really, when you're 10 years old, how many cars have you been in that don't have doors on?
Yeah, especially nowadays. I mean, I think back when we were kids, you had the Bronco, you had the Jeep,
riding in the back of the truck everywhere.
You know, your little buggy sand dune things. You know, all of they have. They didn't think of safety back then.
Yeah, and we survived. Come on,
we survived. Right? That's right. What's sticking a little paint? You know,
exactly. So, what are we talking about tonight, there, Chief?
So tonight we're gonna jump into it, guys, and this is one that is close to Mac's heart. But we're gonna talk about game store goodness.
It might be close to my heart, but it's not close to my house.
Not close enough for you, right?
Right.
So game stores basically they come in different shapes and sizes and can offer different things for gamers. So it's something we kind of want to touch on. I think, we may have talked about this once on the podcast just briefly, but we never really deep dived it. So it's probably us whining and, I want to.
It's definitely me whining because I don't have a game store. There's no question about it. I will keep the whine to a minimum.
Okay. So a lot of these ideas,
if I have to,
they're going to come from you, but some of these game stores can just be a place to pick up the new or some you may want to live in because of all the different organized events in them.
Yep.
So yeah, we're going to look at some of these things that make up a great game store and keeps you going back for more in our hobby.
Yeah, and for you guys watching and listening, even if it's after the fact, let us know your favorite game store that you frequent and what makes it so good. And I knew, see, Todd just commented, and I knew he was going to say that. So he just said, best game store ever, Night Watch Games. Look them up. I have, and I've seen the pictures.
Yeah.
And just from the pictures, you can look at that and go, that looks like it might just be the best game store ever. Just from the pictures. So I knew you were going to bring that up, Todd. I knew you were. And I'm glad you did.
I forgot to do our banner, so I'm throwing them up right now. Bam.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. So
Bam.
yeah, so Night Watch Games. So Clem, you can throw some stuff up there. For those that don't know, Todd is Clem. You can throw some stuff up there, some of the things that you think makes Night Watch Games such a good store.
Yeah. Because they all have different pros and cons. I think in general, every store has a pro and a con.
Sure.
We want to focus on the pros. What kind of hypothetically, what makes up, like if we're going to make up a game store, what do we want to see? I think one of the first things I wanted to
here, I want to see it here.
You want to see it here?
Right. That's the first thing.
You can walk to it.
As we create this fantasy store that we're about to fabricate out of, just pluck out of the air, let's just go ahead and start with location first.
Yeah.
Right here. Right here.
There. Right down the street.
Right down the street. You know what? Really, anywhere in town is fine. I mean, we all live on islands, so you can kind of get to everything.
Well, then you don't want to hear that one of my stores is 5 minutes away, right?
You know what? I do. I do want to hear that one of your stores is 5 minutes away because it's good for you and your gaming.
Yeah.
See? I care about you.
If I need to run out and get some glue or some primer, I just have to double check the time. You know, I can't go if it's 9 o'clock at night.
Tim says miniature market, cheap prices, great online shopping, 15 minutes from your house.
And
I'm all about the online shopping at Miniature Market. They're having their Black Friday sale already.
Late, right?
Yeah, I dipped in last night, Tim. So I'm with you on that one too, no doubt. That's it.
So if you see that big truck go out of their parking lot, it says Mac. Let you know.
Yeah, they just send me a whole truck. They don't even put a FedEx on it anymore. Yeah. So this is one of the things Todd said, and for me, this is important. And I got a little story to go with this. Is community over sales is what he says is so good about Night Watch Games. And we had a really small game store here. And when I say really small, I mean there was one 40K table in the front and one 40K table in the storeroom. Mm-hmm. And you couldn't back up. It was like if anybody's ever been in a bar that has the pool table that's in the wrong room, you know, where you can't even pull the cue back to shoot. That's how these rooms, that's how the spaces were around the table. So it was super small, which was fine. You know, you got to start somewhere. I'm all about a small store and they got stuff, but the environment was toxic. It was super toxic. I went in there and played one time. And I was like, wow, this is just, it was a terrible place. So they didn't emphasize community. Really, they didn't emphasize sales either. I think the guy had the store open so that he could get discounts on Magic cards.
Got it. Yeah.
So they didn't really emphasize anything. So I'm all about the whole community. And I think that's kind of that's a core thing, I think, because and we've talked about this before with our buddy Alan, who owns Discover Games. And if you're focusing so much on that community, then you're going to be able to push more games, because I think what you really need when you're trying to get a new game going in your store is you need a champion. You need somebody that's going to go, hey, I'll be here on Tuesday nights and I'll run the games and blah, blah, blah. I'll do all of the stuff. And you know, the store owner gives them a, 5 or 10% discount or something because he's doing all that stuff. You know what I mean? So you pushing that whole idea of ownership for the folks coming into your store, where they feel like they really are investing in your store, like they have something to offer. So I think that's really huge, which, like I said, I've seen the pictures of Night Watch Games and they must really push their community to have, I mean, the setup that they have and the reputation that they have. Oh, there you go. Todd says, make it a Cheers. Norm. That's what you need. You need that one guy that walks in and everybody goes, Norm. Exactly. Absolutely.
Totally.
Hey, Ron, what's happening? What Mike says, Games Plus Premiere in Illinois.
Yep. That's about
a good one.
30 minutes south of me.
Yeah.
That's actually that store's I want to touch on size too. You mentioned that one you guys had was a small kind of cramped one. Yeah, I think that something's a big concern for these stores is something that's a larger size so you can get more game tables in it. And like Games Plus actually had they have a whole back room that's just tables, tons of tables that you can reserve and play games at. And that's a reason why I pretty much started going there is because, they started doing events for X-Wing and stuff like that. And back in the day, Monpoc. And I met so many of my gamer friends at that store because of the size. It was comfortable. It just had that inviting environment that you would just, you can show up for an event, but then you hang out type of thing. So size, I think, is a big thing for a game store. I mean, there was one. It's starts with a GG. I'm not going to call them out, but they tend to have small stores and they center mostly on like your Magic, your Pokemon, and your card games. And they claim to have gaming space, which was basically they crammed a folding table in there and crammed you in there. So if you're a regular customer, there's nowhere for you to walk around. We didn't go there very long because it was just kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I think sometimes stores like that, they're just focusing on sales, and I think that that's okay as long as that's the expectation. You know what I mean? As long as that's the expectation, then that's fine. And I like this. Todd makes a good point here too. Todd, you're on fire tonight, bro. You're right. The stores can't compete with the prices on Amazon.
It's tough. It's tough,
right? So you have to give them something else. So for me, for a game store, I'm more than happy to pay a couple of extra bucks for something.
Yeah.
If I have a game store, it's why a lot of the times I'll order my stuff from. Okay, well, to be fair, I do maybe leverage the fact that I know the store owner, so I don't usually order online from Discover. I'll text Alan and be like, hey, right, because they have a condo up here. So I'm like, hey, man, can you bring me this, and this? And then I just PayPal him when he gets here. So,
yeah. And I think, that's definitely, you got to, Amazon or any kind of online store that they're exclusive of that. You buy a game and you have a question, Amazon's not going to answer your question.
Yeah, absolutely. Or show you how to play the game.
Yeah.
Or
store,
introduce you.
A store owner, worker, or even the community that frequents that store, that's where you're going to get that experience from. So I think that's very important.
Yeah. Let's see. Ron says they lost their game store a few years ago. Now it only has Pokemon and Magic.
You know what? Yeah. And a lot of game stores, there's the one that's not far from me. And I know another store that I used to go to for Wild West Exodus. A majority of their sales, and I've talked to the owners, they said this is why they do it. Majority of their sales are Magic and Pokemon because that's what pays the bills.
Right. And Alan has said the same thing that 40K and Magic, that's what pays the bills for him. And I totally get that. You know what I mean? You want to support in every way what they're doing as far as that. I'm not buying any Magic cards. But I do incorporate some 40K models into all my other games, so I'll support it that way as well. So
you go into the note that I jotted down whether they have to offer tons of plastic and cardboard crack.
Oh yeah, man. So when our buddy Troy passed away, who was the manager at Allen's store at Discover Games in Atlanta, I went down there, not for the funeral, but right after he passed away. And while everybody was, they had a memorial at the shop for him. And I was just trying to stay out of the way and be there for my friends. You know what I mean? Because I didn't know Troy that well. I was just trying to be there for my friends that I was close to. So while I was there, I'm just going through the store and I'm putting like models on the same shelf and just kind of organizing stuff, trying to stay out of the way. Good look. That was the most dangerous thing I've ever done in my entire life. Having the opportunity to actually dig through every single thing in the store was terrible and wonderful all at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you ever get up here, next time you get up here, even if it's just at a Adepticon or something, we're making a side trip and I'm taking you to Games Plus. So you can experience what me and Mike experience every time we go there, because there is not a time that I can't get out of that store with less than an hour and a half, because there's so much, just everything, new, old, classic, collectible games that you spend forever in there.
Yeah, I love digging through the old stuff. We have a store like that. It's not close, and this is going to play right into Tim's comment here. Is they have comic book boxes filled with old RPG books, old rule books for skirmish games, all kinds of other stuff like that you can just dig through for hours. But Tim says, does anybody miss the dark, sketchy game stores like the old punk rock record stores?
Kind of smell like feet.
Well, this store that I'm talking about is kind of like that one. It doesn't smell like feet, but it's kind of they're trying really hard to get the new shiny, but they're really just still they're like an old record store, you know what I mean? And it's kind of cool to go in there because it's the kind of place where you can dig around and stuff and end up finding things that you would just be like, this should be in someone's attic somewhere in a box marked "do not open," or you know what I mean? Something like that. So that's kind of cool too, to be able to do that.
So we mentioned that places to play and community and stuff. I think one of the other things I think is good to think about of a game store, our fictional game store, and a lot of game stores that we frequent have these are monthly events, right? Whether it's organized play group gatherings, so just your casual groups that you get together and play with. Tournaments are great to basically support the game and get people interested in it. Could be demos, and just like fun stuff like auctions or theme days. I mean, I know Alan's done theme days around the holidays.
They do a pumpkin carving. They have Santa come to the store because they have a lot of kids come to the store. It's a kid-friendly store. And you guys probably know by now I'm a huge fan of that, because that's the next generation of gamers. You got to make it so that the moms are okay with them hanging out in there. But they do stuff like that all the time at Discover. And having never had a game store, one of the cool things when you talk about the tournaments is they have an Age of Sigmar and 40K group. And they go to the other stores around the Atlanta area and play for store bragging rights.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. So you have they'll go and they'll bring the trophy back, and Alan will put it up on the shelf for discovered games.
Now, if that doesn't promote community, I mean, friendly rivalry is good, in the gaming community.
Yeah, so that was really good. So in this fictional store too, I think since we've already decided on the location and we're getting all this really good gouge on that. Sorry, I don't mean to throw my military vernacular in there. This really good information on how to do this. I'm going to need a name for the store. Okay. So we're going to need a name before this is over too.
Oh boy. You guys throw out some names there, and man, Spaz put a good one in there.
Yeah, I want to get to that one. So Ron said the original owner encouraged you to bring in new games. Yeah, so that's awesome. Press ganger for Privateer Press, to be able to bring that stuff in is awesome. And Spaz says, yes, he knows the punk rock record store. Harry Tarantula was the one in Toronto. That's a good name. I like that. That's a good game store name, because people would come in that just to be like, what in the world is Harry Tarantula? And you just got to go in and see what it is. I got to go in and see what it is. I mean, it could be a smoke shop. It could be anything, but I'm going to go find out because it says Harry Tarantula. So
here you go.
Max Basement. There you go.
Oh boy.
And then Mike said, heart of the game, if he ever starts a store, that's its name. That's a pretty good one. Ron says Games Invasion. There you go. Tie in the old indie invasion.
Yeah.
What's Tim got here? One of the local stores near him started selling beer before COVID. Haven't renewed their liquor license. They're just selling bottles from a cooler behind the counter. Yeah, I've seen a couple places do something like that, but I haven't seen beer. I have seen like coffee shops.
Kind of like your game cafe. There's a lot of those. A lot of those before COVID were starting to pop up. And I know some of them survived COVID. Like if I go into the city, into Chicago, there's like one or two there that are like that, whether it's coffee. One of them's like beer too. They actually have tappers where you can get beer and like basic meals like your grilled cheese and stuff like that. But, I think that's kind of a newer thing for a game store to offer food and beverages like that, which most stores they don't want that stuff around the games.
Well, not only that, but that's tough because then you have to get, I don't know what everybody else's state is, but it's DHEC here, Department of Health and Environmental. And so then they have to come and inspect your kitchen and you have to meet all of these requirements and all that stuff.
I mean, I think it's an excellent thing for a game store to have, even if it's just snacks and pop. It encourages those gamers to stay in the store, not to go out. No, I got to get something to eat. They're going to stay in that store longer than playing in their open play or whatever event that they're, participating in.
Todd says Magic Bean in San Antonio, fair store, bad coffee. We got so first cafe in Toronto, snakes and lattes. Now they're snakes and loggers. That's good. Okay, good. But see, like now I'm pretty sure that I've seen this one somewhere, maybe on Facebook or something. Donuts and Dragons.
Yeah,
that's rough, man. I mean, you're going to be there early, right? You're going to be there early, so you get your morning donut and a game in before work or something. I hope they have coffee too.
And I might need to try and track down a shirt for this snakes and loggers. I like that name.
Right? I want a Donuts and Dragons shirt. That's
good too.
And then the Rusty Scabbard in Lexington, Kentucky for Ron. So that's a lot of really cool stuff. And it's so important to support those local gaming stores to keep them open, because all of this stuff that we just talked about, I would bet dollars to donuts. See what I did there? I would bet dollars to donuts that everything that we talked about is everybody wants that in their game store. They want the community focus. They want that hardcore community focus and the space to do it. But you got to spend your money if that's what you want.
Yeah.
Here's what I mean? You got to go in there and spend your money. You can't just go in there and spend 15 hours in there and play 16 different games and don't buy anything.
Yeah.
You got to spend money. Pizzeria and game store, slice and dice. I like that one.
Good one. And that's why I think it's important for game stores to, like we mentioned, do something that's different, offer something that's different that Amazon cannot do, or any other online place. Is, we said, that community, run events that people can participate, something special and unique. Make a big hoopla about special release. It's a new Warhammer starter box set. A lot of times they do have something behind that to get those juices all geared up and get people all frothed up for that new game.
Oh yeah, and I know one of the things I gotta praise Alan again. That's why I keep trying to get him to open a store up here. Is one of the things they do to get around the food licensing is they'll do a potluck. If everybody's just bringing food in, you're good to go. So I love the stuff that they do at their store. It's so good, Tim. He says the fantasy shop gets a lot of calls from confused people looking for adult products. Yeah, probably not the ideal name for your store, really. I mean, unless it was on purpose so that they could take those calls. So, Todd, I'm sensing a little sarcasm in this response. The running games, bringing the people, no need to spend the cash. Bring in more players is also productive. Got to spend the cash. Got to spend some cash. I mean, because that's what makes that's what they got to pay the light bill. They got to pay the air conditioning bill or the heat bill if you live in the frigid north like Spaz and Eric do. frigid north.
I had some snow today.
It was 78 here today.
No, some flurries today.
Flurries. I opened my freezer.
Did you start saying some Christmas carols too?
I got a little chilly. I had to close it really quick because it got a little
man.
chilly. It got a little chilly for me. It was 78 degrees, you know. If you run demos, that sells the games you're helping. That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. If you're the guy that's there running demos for a game, you're already a junkie. So you're buying a bunch of stuff while you're there anyway, because you're running the demos and saying to yourself, these dice are terrible. I'm going to walk over here and I have to buy 6 new sets because just one's clearly not going to do it. So you're already a junkie.
Yeah, that's cursed, right?
Yeah, exactly. Bob said it was nearly 60 yesterday. Now it's freezing again.
Yeah, I don't get our weather up and down. It's a roller coaster.
It's
here.
because you live in the frigid north.
The
frigid north, man. 78 today. 78.
Alan to open that Discover 2.
I'm trying to get him to open it. Discover 2. TOO. Trying to.
Yeah. So, the end tonight, best part of a game store in your community. I think all these things we talked about, I think the best thing is community, right? That came up a couple times tonight. Like I mentioned, I've met so many people at my different game stores through different game systems and events. Like Bob, who's on here, Mike, who's on here, Spaz, all these people I've met either at a game store or because of something that I did at a game store. And then I turned into a junkie and had to travel across the country to different conventions. And then I meet more people, kind of spirals, right?
Yeah, it does. I think probably for me, the hardest thing, and Todd hit this on the last comment here.
That's a good point right there.
But if you're the guy that owns the store, and I think this is where people struggle, because in my experience, which probably is nowhere near everybody else's here, because I've almost never lived near a game store except when I was stationed in California. And so most of the people that own the stores, they're not type A personalities. So they're not a real dominant personality.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard for them to confront someone who is fulfilling the last portion of Todd's comment here. You know what I mean? To walk over to him and be like, hey, man, you got to stop because you're driving customers away. You're driving people away because you're a jerk. Yeah. So I imagine that's got to be really hard for people that run the store, because you don't want to run gamers out. But sometimes, man.
Well, you know what? That kind of goes towards the owners too, though. They can't be that last part and just expect their stuff to sell. If somebody has questions, be helpful, be approachable. And I mean, most good game stores, they're not doing it to become rich. They're doing it because they love the hobby. They love the community. It's fun to introduce people to something new, right?
Oh yeah. Join me in my addiction. I think that's what you meant.
Yeah.
Right. Isn't that?
Hey, I got some plastic right here.
That's right. Let me show you this game. I think we have a good group of people right here who are susceptible to our wiles, as we so often offer up all of these new indie games, and they're such great guys because they all just support all those indie games. We appreciate you guys, and so do all those indie developers.
Oh yeah. Yep, definitely. So let's see, what are we at? We're almost out of time, guys. Yep. As we always say, this is the fastest.
I had to jump in there.
Okay.
Todd said, we're all ready to buy what you're selling. Okay. The fastest 30 minutes in gaming t-shirt is coming, Todd. I promise. Yeah. I promise it is coming. Eric is the resident artiste. So if I do it, it's just going to be like a crayon on the back of a shirt, because I don't do the art thing. And Alder had my back on this one because ding, ding, the store has to sell Twisted. That's a must.
Yeah.
That's a must. See, your dinger wasn't ready.
That's because I had the volume turned down.
See, I got my asylum set up right here behind me for Twisted right there. Yeah. Look at that. That's beautiful. Beautiful. If anybody's wondering, Tabletop Gamer Store is where that's from. It's in Canada. I think it's in, I want to say it's in Toronto, Spaz, if I'm not mistaken. I purchased obviously from him before, but I may or may not have purchased from him again.
So whenever Spaz is able to come across the border, he can be our mule.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I have a mule that goes south. I need a mule that goes north.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spaz, he said he never heard of it. I don't know if I don't think he has a brick and mortar. I think he's just an online guy, but I'm not sure. Anyway. So, well, I think that's it. Fastest 30 minutes in gaming.
Yeah. Just like that. It's all done. But hey, it was fun while it lasted, right?
It was a blast. It was the best. I still didn't get any names for our fictional store that we need to start. So you guys be thinking. Got some good points. Community, must sell twisted, the important things. Go ahead, you got it. Come on, get the.
I got to turn the volume. I had to turn.
I'm just gonna buy you a physical bell for Christmas.
Yeah,
he's gonna buy you a physical bell so you can just leave it on the table. So, all right, for those of you guys that are bowing out, thanks for joining us. We sure do appreciate it. I think it's my turn to take us out.
It is your turn, sir.
Don't forget, guys, in case you couldn't tell, tonight is Thursday, which I almost forgot because at 9:10 I texted Eric and I said, "Oh, it's Thursday. I forgot." Don't ask me how I forgot what day it was, but I did. But don't forget, join us on our new Thursday. And please, the best thing you can do if you like hanging out with us and the banter and the back and forth and the indie games, share with a friend. Let's get some more people involved and showing up and all that kind of good fun stuff so that we can just spread the word on a lot of these indie games that we really, really love. But in the meantime, you can catch us on Podbean and everywhere else that you can find a podcast. You can find us. Go check that out. Our main platform is Podbean, so you can go over there and follow us. These always go up. The shorts episodes go up, and we'll throw up some other stuff every once in a while. So go and check that out. We have almost 300 episodes up there, I think. So if you haven't listened to them, you got plenty to get you all caught up. You can also check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Discord, or drop us a line at indieinvasion@gmail.com, especially if you know of an indie game or an indie developer. We'd love to talk to them. We have a couple people in the pipeline right now that we would like to talk to. That it's just a matter of getting stuff scheduled. If you're not in the Discord yet, head on over there. Share that Discord link all over the place if you want. Lots of fun stuff going on over there. Cool pictures going up all the time.
There's been a lot of pictures the last couple days.
The Rain in Hell faction that just went up, that thing looked awesome. Yeah. Those were some fabulous models. I meant to ask where a lot of them were from, but they were fantastic. I loved those models. But so you can pop over there, check that out, give it a look, give it a join, and add some pictures to it yourself. There's the link for the Discord. Go over there right now. I'll wait. I'm just kidding. I'm not really going to wait, but go over there anyway. Also, you can find us on Patreon if you would like to go over and support us. We got a few things going on over there. Not a whole lot. We don't keep up with that portion quite as much. We prefer the live interaction stuff, but it is over there. We do have a few things. We've got some documents over there, a few videos, and everything's free. If you don't want to support, you don't have to. You can still go over there and watch everything. It's all free. And our most exciting thing recently, at least in my opinion, is you can also check us out on redbubble.com. Check it out. That's right. Indie Invasion hoodie, Indie Invasion hat, shirts.
I'm the poster boy tonight.
Coffee cups. We have got it. Well, I was going to say we've got it all, but we don't have it all because Spaz is still waiting for the mini skirt.
I got to get him his mini skirt made.
As soon as we can get that mini skirt, he has promised to model it and let that be, it's going to go viral for us. So that's how we get big, is Spaz in an Indie Invasion mini skirt. That's the way that we break through to the other side and buy the podcast mansion. There it is. That's the way to do it. But check us out on Redbubble. There's a lot of really cool stuff over there that you can pick up some merchandise that says Indie Invasion all over it.
It helps support us.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks to Ron. You can check him out on the Coastal Con page, sporting an Indie Invasion shirt.
Yeah,
so
if you guys get any merch, post it up in the community portion on Facebook or on Discord. We'd love to see you guys, waving the flag. Basically.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, keep those game store names in mind, and maybe one day I will have a game store here. If you see Alan online, pester him about Discover Games 2 and moving it here. Just start pestering him. Don't forget to pester Eric about moving because it's just too cold up there. But just do it for fun now, because now it's just become part of the show. Yeah. But until we see you guys next week, prepare yourselves for the invasion.